Ladies and gentlemen, we know our 16 teams for the Beacon Duel League, and we have plenty of exciting matches to come this weekend. A lot of them are going to be including my guest today because he's our first interviewee of the season, our first player to answer my questions. It's Nuprime. Nuprime, thank you so much for taking the time to join me.
Hello.
So my first question is actually less of a question. It's just to get a general feel of who are you? Who is Nuprime? Who is Nuprime the player? Because you know you're a common name amongst some of the best players in the world nowadays, but it feels like a lot more of a sort of a recent thing. So what can you tell me about who you are and what Trackmania is to you?
For me, Trackmania is mostly a hobby. I just play the game because I have fun playing it. I started when the game was introduced in 220. Yeah, and from there I just played campaign, and through a couple people I got introduced to the competitive scene, most likely team tournaments. And then I played when the first duo format was introduced with Immod. And after that I started also playing some solo comps last year where there was the solo World Tour League. And I think I wouldn't call it a breakthrough, but where I really thought I can be good or better in the game was when I attended XP Evo and played over my expectations.
Yeah, I think that XP Evo result and getting to that final and even your performance in that final definitely got a lot of attention and a lot of people recognizing the name Nuprime and considering you as one of the top players. Now, one thing that comes alongside the name Nuprime often is people say how much you practice, and you know the quantity of practice from top players nowadays is a hot topic and people like discussing it. Do you think that that's a fair assumption for a player like you, that you commit a lot more time than maybe others would?
Probably. The thing is, you never really know how much everybody's practicing because you just don't know. Many are not saying it, or in my opinion also many undervalue or estimate how much they actually trained. And I think that I am the guy who's always practicing a lot just got through Fagir, a friend of mine from Team Shift. We always just made fun about it, and through his being moderator in Granadi's chat, I think it got really popularized, which I don't mind, obviously. Yeah, I mean, it's fair that I practice a lot, but I don't think that there are players who practice less. There are probably players who even practice more. Some players just need less training and some need more to get on the same level. And I think it's just part of the game.
Is there anything specific about your training that you would say differentiates you from other players and maybe sort of allowed you to get some of those recent performances like at XP Evo?
I don't really know. I know some people practice, but I think I do it nowadays like many do with before I even play a map, I play the part maps before. I don't even drive a normal run because I think it's just not waste of time, but I'm slower in learning the map. And then I just like to play a lot of practice matches and rounds. Definitely for XP Evo, I played just a lot of this better matchmaking, and also now for Beacon. And I try to organize private matches to be preparing myself in the to get put in this kind of pressure situation. Even though it's not 100% the same, it's at least pushing me to finish every round or to play on a regular basis.
So coming into the competition, there was obviously a lot of chat about who was going to be playing with who and who was going to be whose teammate. You decided to go with Loso, or Loso decided to go with you. Was there any discussion between you two about, were you always going to be a duo, or was there anybody else in the fray?
I think first, when there were only rumors that there is a duo league, I was obviously thinking about Ratchet because we've trained a lot together for XP Evo and it's always fun playing with him. But then I think his motivation in general like flattened out a bit, or I don't know, we never really talked about it, to be honest. And then I just heard from, I don't know, someone in Shift, I don't know who it was again, that Loso was thinking about playing, and we were just playing team comps before, just to get together. And I just hit him up and asked if he was really thinking about playing Beacon and if we want to team up. Yeah, that was kind of the thought process. And when Beacon moved, Epos couldn't play, so Boss asked me as well. But there, like, I didn't want to. I just sticked with Loso, and we are both in Team Shift, and that would made more sense anyway. Yeah.
And Boz has ended up playing with Tween, another Slovakian player. So maybe a bit of a grudge match awaiting both of you. But obviously with the 2v2 style, it adds an element of tactic, I guess, in matches where you might not get that in solo as much. Would you say that you have a specific play style yourself and Loso that matches? Like, is there one that's more risky and one that kind of plays the anchor role and just hangs back until they need to?
I think we just both play both. We just we just play the game. We don't toggle, like, we're not toggling really. We just drive our rounds. And sometimes there's like a call maybe that we can like save, and then we just do our thing. But it's not like that we have a role who's doing what.
Nice. So in those rounds, how do you guys prefer to communicate? Is there one of you who's a specific caller? Is it mostly you or Loso, or does it come from both of you? And is there any specific like style of calls that you like?
Yeah, like we are in VC. We are relatively quiet, and I toggle cars sometimes to like see if maybe like it's all close or so. Then I give like maybe some calls, but not a lot, usually only if I think it's correct. And we mostly do calls if we crash, then we check what the other guy has to do and then give the information. Like if other person crashed with me as well, as I just say that he can save, so we are denying the ace.
It sounds very professional. It sounds very locked in. I can imagine it being a little bit tense. Maybe saving some of the big celebrations and screams for later on in the season. Looking ahead to later on in the season, looking ahead first of all to your matches on Saturday, you have some difficult matchups, one of them being big, but I want to get to know, what is your expectation of these two matches? Are you looking for 2 wins out of 2, or do you think it's going to be a bit more difficult?
I definitely want to win both matches, and I also think we can win both matches. Obviously, it won't be easy. Like big, of course, the big German names, hard to beat. But yeah, I don't know how their practice this week will be. I mean, they always say they are not giving it 100%, so I feel relatively confident that we can do it. And with Boss and Tween, we used to do definitely a couple of scrims, and so that will be definitely a close match.
Okay.
Yeah,
so coming into it with some confidence, but a little bit of expectation of having a tough challenge ahead, which I think is fair enough considering the level that Division 1 has to offer. I think it's fair to say that your guys' performance in qualifiers, and I think the hype around your duo, has meant that you are one of the names cited as a possible winner of this season. Obviously, a lot of other good duos as well. But what is your personal objective of the BDL? What do you think you'd be satisfied with, and what is your goal?
Like, first of all, always with how I said in the beginning, Trackmania is a hobby for me. I just have fun playing the game, and especially playing matches. So the first aspect is having fun. Obviously, winning is always more fun. I definitely wanted to make the playoffs and see from there. Winning can be quite tough because I think Paco and Mime are like one step over everybody else. Like they're a bit better, or yeah.
Definitely one of the favorites, Team Nemesis. But of course, being just over 3 weeks away from those playoffs, a lot can happen, and maybe maybe once we get there, things will have changed. But I look forward to seeing you potentially make those playoffs and make a run far into the competition. Nuprime, thank you so much for taking the time and joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And best of luck with your matches this weekend.
Thank you.